Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the PLC Ladder Simulator. I'm going to explain some of the basics of the app. So I'm going to use the free version. So we open the app, and the first thing is that we need to select the type of notation that we're going to use for our design. So we have three options. We have classic notation, PLC notation 1, and PLC notation number 2. So in the first option, classic notation, the system doesn't automatically add any variable. The user is the one who declares the variable. So the variable manager initializes empty. This means that you can add any variable with your own name tag. It's more customizable than the other options, and is more recommended for users that are familiar with the app. The second option, PLC notation number 1, the system is gonna automatically create 24 virtual variables, 8 switch input variables, and 8 output variables, the same as the PLC notation 2, but with the difference that in notation number 1 is going to be based on the Siemens notation, and notation number 2 is going to be based on other type of PLC or commercial PLC. So it's more it's according with your preference that which notation you're going to select. I recommend more PLC notation 1 or 2 for those who are new to the app, for new users, and actually for all the users is I recommend it too. But if you're new, if you're not familiar with the app, start with these two options. So in this case, I'm gonna select PLC notation 1. That doesn't mean that you cannot add more variables in PLC notation 1 or 2. You can add more variables. You can add more variables. So I'm gonna select PLC notation number 1, and then we need to go to letters at the editor. But first I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna explain what's the difference between the three types of variables that are declared here in the PLC Ladder Simulator app. So we're gonna go to variable manager, and you can see the variables that are declared for our design. So the variable manager uses three types of variables. The first is the input variable. This represents a physical input component like a push button or a switch, and can be added to a contact. The second variable is the output and represents a physical output component like an LED, and can be added to a coil. And the third is the virtual variable, and is used as an internal variable and can be added to a coil or to a contact. So here we can add any variable if you want to add more, or you can delete any other variable. We're gonna exit the variable manager, and we're gonna go to the ladder editor, and here we can add any component of our design. So we're gonna touch the plus icon, and we're gonna get this menu. So you can add contacts, coil, sub-rung, and a rung. So but first you need to add a rung before you add a contact or a coil or a sub-rung. So in this case I'm gonna select rung, and we can select from three different options: a coil, rung, a counter, and a timer. So we're gonna add a coil, a rung with a coil, and we place it here. And we can select from an output coil, a latch coil, or an unlatched coil. In this case I'm gonna select an output coil, and we're gonna add or select a variable. So here you can select from the variables that are declared in the variable manager, or you can also add a variable directly here. But in this case I'm gonna select one of the variables that are already declared in the variable manager. I'm gonna select the M0.0, and we're gonna hit OK. So next we're gonna add a contact. So we go hit plus, and then we're gonna select the type of contact we're gonna add. So I'm gonna select contact NO, or normally open, and then we're gonna place it here and select the type of variable that is gonna be linked with this contact. In this case I'm gonna select the first variable input, and we hit OK. So next we're gonna add a sub-rung, and the sub-rung is gonna be like this, so you can place it anywhere in the rung. Okay, I'm gonna place it here, and then we're gonna add add other contact. Normally open. For the sub rung, when you're gonna add a contact, you only need to hit the sub rung, in this case here, and select the variable of that contact. I'm gonna select the M0.0. This is the same variable for the coil. This means that if this coil is true or is high, this contact is gonna get high. Then we're gonna add other contact. This contact is a normally closed contact, and in this case I'm gonna add variables. I wanna add a new variable, so we're going to hit the add variable, and we can add an input or a virtual variable. Those are the variables that are compatible with the contact. So I'm gonna add an input variable, and we're gonna select that it's gonna be a push bottom, and we're gonna give it a tag, so a name tag. So it's gonna be stop. Okay, stop, and we're just like okay. And now we have this contact with this variable stop. This is a new variable I have declared. And then we're gonna add another coil, another rung with a coil, and we're gonna add it with an output variable. We're gonna select this output variable. We hit OK. Then we're gonna add a contact. And this contact is gonna be the same with the M0.0 virtual variable, okay. And we're gonna also add other coil. So we're gonna add object coil, and we're gonna select the rung where we're gonna add the coil. In this case, I'm gonna add in this rung. So we need to select the type of the coil, the variable, and the type is going to be a latch coil, and the variable is going to be an output. So we're going to select this output, okay. Next we're going to add other rung with a coil. We're going to put it here. No, I don't want to put it here. Okay, let's put this rung between these two rungs. So we're gonna select here, and this coil is gonna have unlatched coil for the same type of variable, the output variable O0.1. So it's gonna be O0.1 unlatched, okay. And we're gonna add other contact here. An input contact is going to be O0.1, okay, like this. And then we're gonna simulate this design. We're gonna exit the editor, and then we hit the play button here, and we can now test our design. So we can interact with the interface bar, and the square buttons are switches, and the round one is a push button. So we're gonna select this, and we have a retention here. The O0.0 is on, it's true, and the latch is still active. So if we stop the retention, we still have this LED on. The variable O0.1 is still on, so we need to turn it off. So here in the second rung we have an unlatched coil, so this means that if we hit the I0.1, it's gonna unlatch that coil. So we're gonna hit it here, and we have the variable as a low state. So this is the PLC Ladder Simulator. I hope that you enjoy this application. If you have any questions or doubts or something like that, you can contact me. My email is in the description of this video, and it's gonna be more videos about how to use a timer, a counter. Stay tuned. Thanks.